Welcome to Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast, the podcast that empowers you to turn your dreams into reality using the law of attraction. I'm your host, Papi DiNuzzo, and together we'll dive into the mindset, strategies, and energy shifts you need to create the life you've always envisioned. Whether it's health, wealth, happiness, love, relationships, or spirituality. Inspired by my transformative book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, each episode brings you practical tools, inspiring stories, and bold insights to unlock your limitless potential. Get ready to manifest your greatness, and let's dive in.
Papi Mindset Coach presents the Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast with Papi DiNuzzo. Namaste, my name is Mikey, and today's episode is Count Your Blessings, Not Your Complaints. If you're looking for a manifestation mindset coach, a motivational speaker, successful entrepreneur, and best-selling author, please book Papi to speak to your company or book him to speak for free to your nonprofit organization that would love to hear his message of hope, inspiration, and love for ourselves and our fellow brothers and sisters. We are counting our blessings and giving gratitude. Papi has reached over 100,000 followers on social media. So if you don't already, please follow, share, and like Papi Mindset Coach on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I want to say that our manifestation journey is so much more powerful when we do it all together. And the more we like, follow, and share, the more we can help spread Papi's positive message. Also, please sign up for Papi's free 7-day Manifesting Challenge online coaching course at papimindset.com. That's PAPI mindsetcoach.com. All you have to do is go to the upper right-hand corner of his landing page, enter your first and last name and your email address to access this free life-changing wisdom and knowledge. Now let's go to Papi to set the table. Namaste, Papi.
Namaste, my wonderful sisters, Mikey and Kim. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and all the love that you put into this. It reminds me of my grandmother when she used to cook. She would say that she was cooking with love and she would focus on it. If she got upset, she would take a pause and then come back when she was in the right frame of mind, that she literally believed because she was. That's how intelligent our grandparents and great grandparents are, that she was literally embedding love into the cooking that she was doing. And that is what Mikey and Kim provide with the show. Their love is actually embedded in this show. So I thank both of you so much. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you so much, Mikey, for all the wonderful work you do and how much you love your fellow brothers and sisters and you want to help them. It encouraged me every day. And I'm a better person for knowing both of you. So thank you so much. Yeah, Mikey, today's so excited. So exciting. We're going to be talking about blessings, counting our blessings, which is sort of a little subcategory, so to speak, under gratitude that helps us to get through our day. And I just think I say namaste, my fellow brothers and sisters, namaste, my fellow brothers and sisters. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you. The Papi Mindset Coach, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast is all about sharing love, light, truth, goodness, inner knowing, and remembrance. The inner knowing, why I'm here, why I came here, why I was sent here, is to shine this universal light on you and get you to acknowledge the inner knowing, which you know to be true inside of you, and the remembrance of why you came here, specifically the I am power that's within you, and to shine and share positive energy with all of you, all my wonderful fellow brothers and sisters. A quick reminder before we get into the show today, the two most important times in a tie for number one, my fellow brothers and sisters, the two most important times throughout the day are when you first wake up and right before you go to sleep. You are right next to your subconscious mind and universal subconscious mind, the waking ritual that I talk about and the sleeping ritual. Right when you very first wake up, that first 5, 10, 15 minutes when you first wake up and the last 5, 10, 15 minutes before you fall asleep are so important. So please pay attention to them. No screens, no social media, no technology or anything, just you right next to the access that you have for all knowledge and all power of all time right next to it. When you very first wake up in the morning, whatever you are most in tune with in harmony, alignment, flow, in harmony, alignment, and flow, whatever you're most in tune with, affirmations, intentions, prayers, whatever it may be. You very first wake up in the morning, start giving gratitude. I am so happy, grateful now that today is the greatest day of my life. I'm so happy, grateful now that today is a magnificent day. I'm so happy and grateful now I have created my masterpiece today. I'm so happy, grateful now that I'm enjoying the greatest breakthrough in my entire life today, and fill in the blank: health, wealth, love, happiness, relationship, spirituality, whatever it may be, my fellow brothers and sisters, whatever it may be, you have this power within you. Stop looking outside of yourself. Stop looking outside and look within. I want you to focus within. That's what I've come here for you, for your inner knowing and your remembrance. It's only you versus you. You have all this power within you. I come to you as always from a perspective of 100% pure spirituality, no religion. I stay neutral as to religion. I stay neutral as to politics. I stay neutral as to governments. I stay neutral as to everything that our fellow brothers and sisters who like to do this confrontation. I stay neutral as to all of it. This is a message of love, 100% spirituality, 100% neutrality. I'm coming you completely from a neutral perspective with love to help you in your life, you to be able to manifest and you can imagine. So it's completely neutral. This is a message of love to share with you from now for the rest of my life, as long as I'm here to help you to be able to manifest anything you can imagine. So thank you again, Mikey. Thank you again, Kim, for putting together such a great show. Thank you. Such a great podcast.
Thank you. Pappy, you're always up to something exciting and new. And recently you were on a Facebook Live with the Roy Mama Show. Can you share with us some of the highlights of that show?
Yes, Mike, it was fantastic. I've got to know Roy Mama. Roy's name, her given name is Jermaine, but her dad was expecting a son, and even though he had a daughter, he still would call her Roy. So it was quite interesting. She was born and raised in Cameroon, Africa, and just what a wonderful sister of ours, what she's gone through in her life and the success that she's had. She's a very successful channel on Facebook. I would suggest taking a look at the work that she does. She has a very large audience from Cameroon, Africa, and I did a couple of live shows with her. And I was like, just like to mention this because a lot of our fellow brothers and sisters listening on the podcast didn't see some other interactions and just the work that we're doing in Africa, teaching classes. We just launched a class that we're starting to teach with Papi Mindset Coach that I'm teaching in India in the Yuva school. It's Yuva, the Yuva school in India, a pilot program going into over 7,000 schools with over 7 million students. And again, I remind your fellow brothers and sisters, my target audience, our target audience at Pappy Mindset Coach is the over 4 billion of our fellow brothers and sisters living off of less than $5 per day. I want to teach them and coach them and level them up and love them so that they can manifest anything they can imagine. This code, this secret is inside of you, the secret to the universe that you want to live your life inside out. Stop living outside in. And just as it always does with universal divine synchronicity, how I met Roy at a woman's function I spoke at in Orlando there was 100 plus entrepreneurial women in the audience, very wonderful feminine energy, what we need more of on planet Earth. And she asked me to be on her show and to be able to present with her and speak out to our fellow brothers and sisters, a lot of which are in Cameroon, Africa, and or first generation here in the United States, and just share this love and share this message. It's opened up other doors from just my conversations with her and being on her show live on Facebook, opened up other doors where I've got an invitation. There's a couple of organizations that have extended an invitation to me, Mikey, for me to come over to Cameroon, Africa in 3, 4, 5 months from now. So stay tuned. I may be reporting on that as well if I can fit that into the schedule. So I just want to thank Roy Mama. She's such a wonderful individual, all the great work she's doing, all the wonderful love and inspiration that she provides for her fellow brothers and sisters. So just being on her show, Mikey, and being able to go through manifesting the law of attraction, it was really a big picture because a lot of her audience had not had any experience with manifesting. And again, my fellow brothers and sisters, manifesting is just a fancy word for creating. That's all it is creating. And you have creative power within you, creative power to co-create with source energy, to be able to manifest anything you can imagine. This perfect spirit, perfect spiritual DNA, perfect spiritual spark that's inside of you. You have this ability within you. So it was so wonderful getting to share it out with Roy and her entire audience from Cameroon, Africa, as well as our fellow brothers and sisters here in the United States. So that was a wonderful event.
Yeah, those Facebook Lives are great because I love the interaction between you and the audience members too when they ask questions. So, um, every week you send an email with 2 free concepts to live by to everyone on your mailing list, reminding us that repetition is the key to manifesting success. And with so much negativity in our lives, it's so great to get that positive message in our inbox. And the great thing about the podcast is that you get to dive a little bit deeper into each of those concepts and explain them a little bit further to us. And today I think you want to talk about emotion.
Yes, Mikey, emotion. We send out a couple of concepts to live by every week. And again, my fellow brothers and sisters, if you can just get on this frequency, this is a message. Everything that I do is a message of love. It's a message of hope, a message of inspiration to motivate you, to elevate you, to come to a happy place. I had a woman, Mike, you came to me months ago, maybe 3 months ago now, and I was at an event and she said, Pappy, I want to thank you so much. And I said, what are you thanking me for, sister? I don't recall. We haven't talked for a while. It's been a number of months. And she's, I just want to thank you so much. And I said, what are you thanking me for? She says, well, when I have the most challenging times in my days, you get me through that every day when that happens. She said, might be once a week, might be every other day. Sometimes it's a couple days in a row. And I said, how am I getting you through those tough times that you're going through? And she said, Pappy, I go to your social media channels and your message is so powerful and so positive and uplifting. I listened to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of your shorts, the messages that you're sharing, and she said, "It puts me in a total, completely different frame of mind and elevates my vibration. I can regroup and go on with my day, and not just go on with my day, but to reset my day and go forward." So I just reminding our fellow brothers and sisters, these are what Mike is referring to, concepts to live by. Get on our email list. Everything I send out is something positive. We send out concepts to live by, copies of our podcast show. Everything on there is free to help you, doesn't cost anything. And for all of the junk that's out there, it's great to have something to look forward to in your inbox. It's positive, inspiring, motivating, and full of love. You can feel the love. You can feel the vibration from what I'm sending to you. You can feel this positive energy that I'm sending to you. And then one of the ones we sent out this last week, Mikey, this one's so important. I'll just focus on one, and it is emotion. My fellow brothers and sisters, emotion is so important. If we could think of this, Mikey, I'll just take a moment to set the table. My fellow brothers and sisters, I talked to you about the stick figure an awful lot. And again, if I ask our fellow brothers and sisters, when I talk to them for the first time, what do you think your mind is? Our fellow brothers and sisters say, Pappy, I think it's my brain. You've heard me say before, your brain's no more of your mind than your nose or your toes are. Your mind, which is at the epicenter of everything, it's your connection to universal intelligence. If you could think, I'm going to imagine a white magic marker I'm using here with my finger. If I draw a big circle around my head, one big circle with a line through the middle, a C in the top half of that circle for your conscious mind, an SC in the bottom half of that circle for your subconscious mind. So the bottom half of that circle looks like a bowl. You'll hear me refer to that as a bowl. One little line going down, a small circle here down below for your body, just to be on that, a line up on each side for your arms and your hands, a line down on each side for your legs and your feet. Your mind is your conscious mind working in concert and in harmony with your subconscious mind, and working in harmony and concert with your body. Those are the 3 key elements of your mind. So why are emotions so powerful and so important? The magic starts, my fellow brothers and sisters, you've heard me say up above your head. Why did Albert Einstein talk so much about using his imagination? Why have all these geniuses talked about using your imagination? Andrew Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Bob Proctor, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Maya Angelou, Harriet Tubman, Helen Keller. Why do they all talk about this? Neville Goddard, Dolores Cannon. Imagination, your ideas is where everything starts. Everything on earth has been created twice. First in your or my mind, or one of our 8 billion fellow brothers and sisters' minds. And then the second, the physical object back of it. What we're talking about today is the first part here in this concept to live by. You want to clear your mind, get in a peaceful place, use your imagination. You can and do create everything. This is the power inside of you. Use your imagination. You have a thought. You have a thought. And that's where your goals start. That's where creation starts with your thought. I say you have a thought, and it's like a firework goes off up in the fifth dimension or above. And when that one firework settles down to dust and the smoke, you see the faint outline of what you're thinking about. When you think that same thought and apply emotion to it, a couple of dozen fireworks go off. And when all that extra smoke and dust settles down, you see the outline much more well developed, much more well developed by the emotion you have applied to the process. So that's the first time that emotion comes in. You think this thought, and when you apply even a little bit of emotion to it, it comes down into the top half of that circle, your conscious mind, and it's in your conscious mind as a want. It's something that you want. In order for it to happen, we need to and we get to apply more emotion and more feelings to this process. As you apply more emotion and more feelings to the process, you drive that want down into the rich treasury, the limitless treasury in your subconscious mind in the bowl, which is where you want to deliver it to. Now, my fellow brothers and sisters, it can only go from the top half, from your conscious mind, into the bottom half. If you just want to think of two arrows going down, it can only take two highways to go from a want into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind creates 95% of everything on life that you've accomplished, everything that you enjoy. 95% has been created in your subconscious mind. So we want to get in there and we want to use this proactively. We want to generate this proactively. The only two highways that get anything that you want in life into your subconscious mind for it to start to work, your subconscious mind with universal subconscious mind to create what you want and generate it. And again, this is an individual, an asset, a resource, love, money, spirituality, happiness, mental wellness, physical health, whatever it is. To create it, the only way that it can get into your subconscious mind is on one of those two highways. And if you look at the highways, one says emotions and the other one says feelings. We're just lumping them both together today, emotions and feelings. My fellow brothers and sisters, this is why emotions are so powerful. And what have you heard me say over and over again? You will manifest anything you can imagine and you apply emotion to, but both good and bad, both good and bad. Whatever you really, 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 really want, that's a lot of feeling and emotions. You're going to drive it into your subconscious mind. So whatever you really, 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 really want, your feelings, emotions are going to drive your subconscious mind and it is going to be manifested. You are going to get it. But also, whatever you really, 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 really don't want, what you're worried about, what you're anxious about, what you're fearful for, if you're thinking about it and thinking about it and worrying about it and applying emotion to it and feelings, you're going to drive that in your subconscious mind. And you, my fellow brothers and sisters, are going to get it. You are going to get whatever you place in your subconscious mind with emotion, feelings. That is your entire reality that is all around you. You have manifested everything in your life. You manifested everything in your life. So that one, Mikey, a lot of times I'll cover too, but emotion is so important. I just wanted to dwell on that a little bit more. And again, what we're talking about right now is just scratching the surface. My fellow brothers and sisters, control your thoughts. What's Pappy? What's the message? Pappy's always got a message. Control your thoughts. However powerful you think you are, multiply that times a really big number. Control your emotions and your feelings. However powerful you think you are, multiply that times an unbelievably larger number. You're way more powerful than you can ever imagine. That's what I'm here for, to explain it to you, to light this fire within you. And your thoughts combined with your feelings and emotions rule all your thoughts and your emotions. So be extraordinarily careful of this power that you wield within yourself, emotions. Such a powerful topic, Mikey. Thank you for that one.
Well, thank you, Pappy, for breaking that down and explaining that to us. That's such an important concept that I think it's even one of your 15 key ingredients to manifesting successfully. It's so important to feel your emotions, feel your joy, feel your gratitude, because if you don't have all the ingredients to the recipe, you're not going to be very successful. Make sure that you are staying in that high vibration, that you are attracting what you're feeling. So thank you for that. And speaking of attracting, Pappy, what is your manifesting the law of attraction coaching tip for us today?
Yes, Mikey, this one's been coming up a lot recently. So as soon as it did, I said, "Hey, Mikey, I know what the coaching tip's going to be. We're going to put on the show." And Mikey and I were working on the agenda. And what I want to share today, my fellow brothers, is just to frame this for you, just to frame it a little bit. I would think of this in the category. Well, I look at it in the category of gratitude. So this would be in the category of gratitude. So it's almost like I talk with you about your big faith 10x goal, big faith 10x goal, and intentions are one of the ways that you can get to your faith 10x goal to make it happen. Think of this as the real big picture here is gratitude. And this is one of the ways throughout the day. Because for some reason, Mikey, with gratitude, our fellow brothers and sisters think when they have to give gratitude, or when they give gratitude, it's got to be some big blockbuster or some like large thing. We can give gratitude for what we would look at as human beings, even as the smallest of things throughout the day. And I'm always looking for ways to help our brothers and sisters to internalize this as well as possible. And this is one, Mikey, I've been leaning into a little bit more. When did I first hear about this skill? My fellow brothers and sisters, think about things you've heard from your parents, especially grandparents or great grandparents. I heard this one, Mikey, incessantly from my Italian grandma Rose and my Polish grandma Anna. I heard it from my mom as well. But my Italian grandma Rose, my Polish grandma Anna were so emphatic. There was so much energy anytime they ever said this. Remember, I started the show, Mike, you talk about them cooking with love when they were putting their hands in that food. You didn't go, there was no fast food restaurants when they were on earth. With so many meals, the oven was the center point of the entire house. That there were meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner were cooked by hand and prepared. There wasn't any Uber Eats, anything delivered to you, DoorDash. There wasn't any fast food. These meals were prepared in the house, in that kitchen, and most of them baked in that oven or cooked on that stovetop. They were imparting love in what they did. And I heard them say this, Mikey, so many times: count your blessings, count your blessings. So I just feel compelled to share this with the audience. Again, in honor of my Italian grandma Rose, my Polish grandma Anna, and my mother Phyllis. How many times I would hear them, Mikey, talking, and this would be when somebody would go a little sideways, one of the grandchildren. Again, my Italian grandma had 13 kids, a lot of grandkids, a lot of family around. And it would be when somebody would say something that wasn't straight. Count your blessings. You need to count your blessings. You need to go and count your blessings. You should be counting your blessings. Count your blessings. They refer to that all the time. Count your blessings. So if you can think of it this way, my fellow brothers and sisters, I want you to start counting your blessings, because I found that with some of our fellow brothers and sisters, gratitude works really well. But also another way to come to gratitude is through counting your blessings. That's what you're doing, is counting your blessings. And I reached out to the universe, Mikey. I reached out to the universe, and there's actually the universe always trying to give us ways that we can interpret this, Mikey, and internalize this is a better word, that we can internalize this, easily internalize it as human beings. And what I talk about over and over, Mikey, what did Nikola Tesla say when he was asked, what are the secrets of the universe? He said, the secrets of this world and the universe, for you to be successful, you need to understand three things. I talk about this all the time: energy, vibration, and frequency. And this is all about energy, Mikey. We talked about when you don't give gratitude for something, you're breaking this cycle, you're breaking this harmony, you're breaking the alignment, you're breaking the flow whenever something that should happen doesn't happen. You, my fellow brothers and sisters, came here, to tie for number one reason why you came here to earth was to harness and direct and manage energy. And we want to do it proactively, positively. What happens when you do it reactively and negatively? You break the chain, you blow up the recipe, you stop the conveyor belt. That's why this is so important. So, counting your blessings throughout the day. So, what do we talk about, Mikey? I talk all the time about keeping your elbows right in here where they're touching your ribs, and both your hands like you're doing two karate chops. Your elbows are touching your ribs. and you want to live your life in the present, the universe is eternally grounded in the present, eternally grounded in the present. What are half of our fellow brothers and sisters doing? They're not keeping their head here where their feet. I say, keep your head where your feet is at. Wherever your feet are at, make sure your head's there, that your mind is right there in that situation. It's not 1,000 miles away or 100 miles away or on something that happened 10, 20, 50 years ago. Half our fellow brothers and sisters are twisted to the side looking at the past, and they're complaining about the past, and they're moaning and groaning and griping and complaining. The other half, instead of right here in the present, are looking to the future, and they're full of fear and anxiety and worry and doubt. Right here, my fellow brothers and sisters, the universe is eternally grounded in the present. You will never manifest anything you can imagine unless you are in the present, speaking and communicating and thinking in the present. So this one relates, Mikey, an awful lot to the past. Our brothers and sisters are looking at the past and they're complaining. So universe says, Pappy, a very simple way to explain this to your fellow brothers and sisters is that these complaints are a negative on your scorecard versus a positive of accounting your blessing, and or they can be considered to be blocking your blocking blessings that are coming to you. My fellow brothers and sisters, when you start to get in alignment with gratitude and you start to be able to give gratitude all day long, you will love also counting your blessings. And a lot of brothers and sisters think like they're sort of smaller. They're not supposed to be. But a lot of fellow brothers and sisters think, well, if it's something bigger, I'm giving gratitude for it. If it's something smaller, I'm counting my blessings. Mikey, if we wanted a number, dozens and dozens and dozens, there's no magic number, but there are dozens and dozens and dozens of opportunities to count our blessings throughout the day. Count our blessings throughout the day. I count my blessings for all my wonderful fellow brothers and sisters who are on this podcast right now. I count my blessings for all of our wonderful fellow brothers and sisters who are going to share this information with everyone else. I count my blessings that I am healthy. I am healthy. I'm explaining myself. I'm here live sharing positive energy with you. I'm counting my blessings for that. I'm counting my blessings for how wonderful Mikey is. I'm counting my blessings for how wonderful Kim is. I'm counting my blessings for all the genius inside of all of you, my fellow brothers and sisters. I'm counting my blessings for just everything that I have in my life, for the wonderful nourishment that I had for breakfast this morning. I'm counting my blessings for everything in my life: health, wealth, love, happiness, relationships, spirituality, everything. Count your blessings all day around. This will be a massive change in mindset. Gratitude, I've told you before, is in a tie for number one. This is another tool for you to lean into with your gratitude, counting your blessings. And I just hear my grandmother's voice all the time: count your blessings. You're not counting your blessings. You should be counting your blessings. Count your blessings, my fellow brothers and sisters. Don't complain. Every complaint is a minus or a smudge or blocking a blessing. The universe listens to every word you say. My fellow brothers and sisters, words, please, please tune in here. Please tune in. Words carry meaning. Words, one word. Your subconscious mind, the universal subconscious mind, is the most literal thing you could ever imagine. It's the most literal energy you can ever imagine. You are so powerful. The universal subconscious mind, your subconscious mind, hang on every word that you say. And words carry meaning. They carry meaning. Words carry vibration. Words carry frequency. That's how powerful your words are. When you count your blessings, I count my blessings for that wonderful lunch I just had. I count my blessings for my wonderful sister or brother I just talked to on the phone. I count my blessings for my mother, my father, my grandparents. I count my blessings. You could be a grown adult. I count my blessings for fill in the blank, whoever it is who raised me, and a great job that they did raising me. And if you would think from a human perspective that they had some flaws, I count my blessings that they did the best that they could. I count my blessings they did the best that they could. So my fellow brothers and sisters, do not remove your blessings or block them by complaining. This is all about energy, karma, and genuine authentic. The word that comes through from the universe over and over again, Mikey, is authentic. For us to be our authentic self puts us close to the I am, I am power that lives within us. My fellow brothers and sisters, another coaching tool I'm giving you: gratitude, 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 and counting your blessings throughout your day And the other half of counting your blessings is eliminating complaints. You stop complaining. My fellow brothers and sisters, when you get in harmony with divine synchronicity, when you get what your former self would have called a problem or a challenge or a hurdle or an obstacle, when they come at you, you can either say, that's good, I tell you that, or you can even just be completely neutral. Don't react at all. How powerful, I tell you, your emotion and feelings are. Don't put any emotion and feelings into it. When that comes towards you, that problem or challenge or hurdle or obstacle, just completely just go with it. Do not elevate at all. Don't think anything. Why me? Here we go again. This sucks. I don't deserve this. No, 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 no. You're putting all this negative energy out. The universe is testing us, my fellow brothers and sisters. It's just a little test. You just start to notice when you don't lean into with any emotion or any feelings into what human beings would call a problem or a challenge, an obstacle, something like that, you'll notice that things are going to work a lot better for you. You'll notice that they're going to work a lot better for you. And these problems and challenges are going to start to be diminished and diminished and diminished. You'll notice after that that you're going to have a lot more things coming into your life from divine synchronicity. What you always wanted, always hoped for, once you get through that challenge, it's going to come into your life. The other day we had a challenge. There was a team member in the office. Jackie came to me and she says, Pappy, I got bad news and I got worse news. I said, well, Jackie, I'm so happy and grateful now. There isn't any bad news or any worse news. First thing I did was I rejected and canceled that. And then she said, we thought we had this one thing closed out. First, it's this thing is $16,000 we didn't know about. And my human didn't know about it. I just said, that's fine. That's fine, Jackie. Just go ahead. Just take care of it. And she says, well, that was the bad news. I said, well, Jackie, what are you defining as worse news? You said you had two items. And I said, I'm canceling, rejecting these words. And she said, well, we thought this one thing was done, but we have to pay out within 15 days, $137,000. And I looked at it and I said, well, from this expert, from this actuary to CPA, their calculation, if that is correct, that's fine. We'll go ahead and do it. And Jackie's a wonderful person. She's the greatest sister-in-law I could ever ask for. But again, any normal human being would be a little bit about this. I said, Jack, that's just fine. We'll just take care of it. And I gave her a couple of instructions. And again, my fellow brother says, I don't want to get you to think in human terms like this money's just laying around. So my former human self would have been and again, my Italian side is my leading emotions. My former self would have been freaking out about this. I said, that's fine, Jackie. I said, we're just going to take care of it. Just let it go. It's due like in 10 days or something. Next time I came to the office, later on that afternoon or the next morning, she said, Pappy, I got some feedback from someone else who looked at it, and they said that they think that the expert who looked at it first did it incorrectly, that it's going to be not $137,000, it's going to be $59,000. I said, that's fine, Jackie, no problem at all. If that's what they say it is, we'll go ahead and do it. And again, it looked normal as far as it goes. I'm not just being flippant talking about it. And then the next day I came through and she says, Pappy, the second expert who looked at it did a fuller and deeper dive and realized where the first expert made a mistake and also in their calculations where they made a mistake. And it's back to what you and I thought it was originally, Pappy, that we don't owe anything on us. This is a program that we closed out a year or 2 years prior. Now we don't own anything. My fellow brothers and sisters, here's where I was with a surprise of having to pay $137,000 for no reason. Here's where I was when it was $59,000. Here's where I was at zero. So originally I thought it was zero. I'm in harmony, alignment, flow. To 137, I'm still here. They said 59,000, I'm still here. Back to zero, I'm still here. The universe will place you. This is an example of divine synchronicity. Will place you in this harmony, alignment, flow. Once you get over the hurdle of not negatively reacting and putting negative emotion and negative feelings into problems and challenges that come to you. I'm telling you, my fellow brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter where you're at on any continent on earth. You have this power within you. You can make this change in your life. So thank you so much, Mikey, for letting me start that off with Count Your Blessings. And kudos to Grandma Rose, Grandma Ann, and my mother Phyllis for one of the most important lessons they've ever gave me. Count your blessings, my fellow brothers and sisters. And again, when you're counting your blessings, the reciprocal or flip side of that is you're not complaining. Not complaining anymore. All you do throughout the day is count your blessings. Your complaints are done with. You're done ever complaining again. All you're doing from here on out is counting your blessings.
Thank you. And I know how important personally those women were in your life. They're the reason that you want to help so many others. So that is a blessing in and of itself. So I appreciate that. And it does put things into perspective when you say every time you say something negative, you complain, it takes a blessing from you. It makes you want to stop and really think what you're saying. And it reminds me of a book that I used to read my kids when they were growing up. And it was just so simple. It just said, count your blessings, not your crosses, count your gains and not your losses. And it was just so simple, and it was just something that just stuck with me, and when we started to do this agenda, I was like, "Oh, I love that book." It was just such a great way to put things simply for kids to understand, and even us grown-ups need a reminder, so thank you for that, coaching tip. And,
Mikey, I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to you after the show. We're gonna have to find that book or order a couple of those. I love that. That was vibrating off the charts. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it was just so simple. I mean, it stuck with me. I hadn't thought about it in years, and then when you said that, I was like, "That was just such a simple phrase to remind." The kids used to love that book. But anyway, so thank you so much for reminding me about some, like, those memories, like you said, just really mean a lot, even with your grandma Rose and your, just all those memories, just so important. But, the other thing too that you do with emotion, and you really feel your emotion when you do that, is your affirmations. And the way you start with I am, I am, I am so happy and grateful. And I know that we have a really good affirmation lined up for today that I would love for you to read to us.
Yes, thank you, Mikey. Affirmations, and again, our fellow brothers and sisters, whether it's affirmations, intentions, or prayers, the key to this, the secret to this is your thoughts combined with your emotions and your feelings. That's what you're doing every time you do a prayer, an affirmation, an intention, whatever you're most comfortable with. And these are affirmations. When I refer to I am, again, this is the God force, the Christ code that's inside of you. When you say I am, you're recognizing this. I am. In today's affirmation, I am so happy and grateful now that I am a co-creator with universal intelligence, with source energy. I am a co-creator. We've touched on this, Mikey, a couple times throughout the show already about the fact that we are a co-creator. We take us as the hand, placing it into the universe, faith and belief, placing that together, co-creating with universal intelligence, with source energy. This is the power we have inside of us. Every single fellow brothers and sisters, the power of using their imagination, their ideas, their thoughts, their feelings, and their emotions, and then finishing it off, Mikey, with their actions, completing the physical object back of this. My fellow brothers and sisters, you can just say to yourself, as Mikey said, as she touched on a second ago, you just say to yourself, how comfortable are you? I want you to be 100% comfortable. You can just be in a room by yourself. I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am, I am. See how comfortable you are. Can you recognize this and draw on this power, access to all knowledge and all power of all time is within you? You should be gloriously happy that you are a co-creator and you've been given this gift to co-create with universal intelligence. So thank you, Mikey, for such a great affirmation today to share with our brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to share too with our brothers and sisters that your affirmations and your gratitude can be part of your waking and sleeping ritual too, because it's so important to wake up with gratitude. So important to remind yourself that you like affirm to yourself your day, your waking and evening ritual. It's just so important to do that. Also, Pappy, a lot of our listeners have questions for you, and I remind them to go to your website, and there's a link at the top that says "Ask Pappy," and they can submit any question that they have for you there. So today's question is, manifestation seems like woo-woo crystal stuff. How do you feel about that?
Yes, that's funny, Mikey, from a lot of the media. And those of you who heard me before, manifesting anything you could imagine, manifesting law of attraction is the least woo woo of anything on earth. It's the least woo woo of anything on earth. And the reason is that it's all based off of universal laws. These universal laws, my fellow brothers and sisters, these aren't just universal laws for earth. That's why they're called universal laws. These are the laws that rule and govern and manage and dictate how everything happens across this entire universe. Universal laws. There's nothing woo woo. And that's why I say, once you get in harmony, alignment, flow, start to once you start to count your blessings and stop your complaints, once you start to apply emotion positively, once you start to, as Mikey said, I know Mikey likes to write things out. Once you start, you can write out 5 things you're grateful for when you wake up in the morning. You could call them later on in the day, counting your blessings or just gratitude, whatever you like. Some of our brothers just like to say things out loud. Some like to write it down. Some like to read it. Some like to read it and write it, whatever it is. As Bob Proctor told me, he said, Pappy, your fellow brothers and sisters, they like to do this. They like to do this a lot of different ways. So the universe, there's nothing woo woo about it. This entire universe works off of universal laws. And just think about some of these universal laws, Mikey. Universal law of love is at the very top. The universal law of love is the only law that fulfills other laws. This universal laws of love is you are loved by source more than you can ever imagine. More than you can ever imagine. That's where everything starts off, is this pure symbiotic relationship, this harmonious relationship with us and source, and we are loved more than we could ever imagine. We come here, we incarnate, and we come here to earth to love ourselves and love our fellow brothers and sisters, to love ourselves, not in a narcissistic way, but in an appreciative way, in a counting our blessings way, in a way of gratitude for all these wonderful gifts we've been given. Universal law of love, universal law of consciousness. This entire universe has been created through our individual and collective consciousness over the last 13 billion plus years. Everything, universal law of consciousness, universal law of increase. Thank goodness for this. This universe has been increasing for over 13 billion years. An ancient ascended master count says, Pappy, know this and know this in your heart of hearts. There are universes on top of universes on top of universes. There are galaxies on top of galaxies on top of galaxies. There are timelines on top of timelines on top of timelines. Universes upon universes are all ruled by these same universal laws. Universal law of energy. We talk about that so much. It's what this is all about. Universal law of the perpetual transmutation of energy. And not just perpetual transmutation of energy, Mikey, perpetual transmutation of energy, life, and matter. Everything flows into form, through form, and out of form over and over. Energy, matter, life has all been created eons and eons and eons ago. Universal law of vibration, universal law of attraction, law of attraction we focus on, universal law of belief, universal law of faith, universal law of proactive creation, universal law of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. So powerful. Universal law of allowance, universal law of gratitude. There's so many, Mike. I'm just mentioning just some of the most powerful ones off the top of my head. My fellow brothers and sisters, nothing woo-woo about this. And once you understand these universal laws that rule everything, once you understand them, then you will be able to change your life in a way you previously could never have even imagined. Once you learn to speak the language of this universe, I am so happy and grateful now that Source Energy created a perfect and infinite universe of universes, all operating under its perfect and infinite universal laws, all operating under its perfect and infinite universal laws, because you, my fellow brothers and sisters, you and I are in the game of life, what I call the game of life. And these universal laws are the rules of the game. They're the rules of the game. And you will not succeed at any game that you play your entire life if you don't understand the rules. That's what I'm here for. Forget woo woo, throw it out the window. 100% the most structured, fair, direct, understandable, intrinsic, loving structure you could ever imagine. Universal laws. This is the technique and methodology that you get in harmony, alignment, flow with universal laws will allow you to manifest anything you can imagine.
Yeah, some of our greatest scientists, like Tesla, Einstein, they were into manifesting. Like anything further from woo woo is a scientist. They're concrete. They have it all written out there. So definitely not woo woo. So thank you for answering that question for us. And we
Hey,
used a lot of
Mikey, excuse me, as you're good, Mikey, excuse me, you're so good at this. Like you trigger like the greatest ideas on earth. This is like one of your superpowers. So Mikey just mentioned, think about our fellow brother says, think of a big round sphere, round ball, but a round sphere. And you start at the bottom, so to speak, and think of spirituality going up one side and science going up the other side. What Mikey was just talking about. When you get to the very height of spirituality and the very height of science, that's where things meet. They look at each other. That's how Einstein and Tesla got to the very top and said, this is what it looks like. You start listening to Einstein, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla's quotes, they sound very spiritual because when they got as high of an elevation as they were mentally, when they got to see and understood how this universe really works, you're at a level of 100% spirituality. They were looking right at it. And you would think they were spiritualists, not quantum physicists, if you listen to the majority of their quotes when they got to that level over and over. So thank you, Mikey. As I say, where spirituality meets science. And again, my fellow brothers and sisters, the science was created by the creator, by source. That is how this entire universe is structured. And science would be the antithesis of woo-woo. Again, Mikey, getting back to the woo. So thank you so much for a great visual and stimulating that wonderful thought that you're such an expert at. Thanks, Mikey.
Oh, you're welcome. That would be a great show too. Spirituality and science. We could do like a whole podcast on that, how it comes together.
Yeah,
But we
there we go.
we used a lot of analogies today about cooking with love with your grandma Rose and, key ingredients and manifesting success. And I like to think of your book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, as the cookbook to manifesting, right? So it's got all this great content, all these great ways to manifest anything that you can imagine successfully. And the best thing about that is the quotes at the beginning of each chapter. And these quotes come through you from the universe. And I know you have a great one lined up for us today.
Yes, Mikey, thank you so much. We're looking at my book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine by Papi, PJ DiNuzzo. And the quote from chapter 17 is the secret. And now the secret in quotes, the secret is that you manifest and create with your thought and your thought forms combined with your body of emotions. That's what we've been talking about all show long. You do this combined with your body of emotions. It is truly mind over matter. For your mind and your thoughts combined with your emotions rule all. That's what it's all about, Mikey. We've been talking all show long, the entire show about our thoughts in combination with our emotions and feelings. So such a powerful quote from Manifesting That You Can Imagine from chapter 17. So beautiful.
And it's a great quote to end our show on today. I hope that we all go about the day with positive emotions and a reminder to count your blessings. Like Pappy said, they are everywhere. And as a reminder, please sign up for Pappy's free 7-day Manifesting Challenge online coaching course on PappyMindsetCoach.com. That's PAPI mindsetcoach.com, where you'll find the link at the upper right-hand side of his landing page.
Thank you so much, Mikey. And in closing, I want to thank all of our fellow wonderful brothers and sisters for joining us today. Thank you so much, our just wonderful fellow brothers and sisters. Namaste. Namaste to you. The spirit of me greets the spirit in you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you. And again, I'm sending you love, light, truth, goodness, inner knowing and remembrance to remember why you came here, and positive energy to you at this very, very moment. And again, my fellow brothers and sisters, just get within yourself in the peace and quiet and start to let this resonate and start to get in contact with your subconscious mind. It's you alone in your room, in a room all by yourself, just 4 times or 8 times. I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am, I am. Thank you, my fellow brothers and sisters. I leave you with love in my heart, love for you and your loved ones and your entire family. Thank you for sharing this wonderful time with us today. Until we meet again, thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you. That's a wrap for this episode of Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast. Keep those dreams big and your mindset unstoppable. Take one step today toward the life you're manifesting, because you can create anything you imagine. If you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Visit PappyMindsetCoach.com for more resources and follow us at Pappy Mindset Coach on social platforms for daily inspiration. If you love this episode, share it with someone ready to transform their life. Until next time, stay focused, stay positive, and keep on manifesting your best life. See you soon.